Welcome to the Feel Good Lab podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Gresh. Join me as we bring together the brightest minds in health and wellness, covering topics from sleep and nutrition to exercise and mindfulness. Our goal is to give you actionable advice to optimize your health and ultimately to feel good. Cam, welcome to another episode of the Feel Good Lab podcast. And I've done a lot of these with some great friends, but this is going to be my favorite one because there's this quote I heard a long time ago: never meet your heroes. And the coolest thing about you, I look up to you. I'm a huge UConn basketball fan. My dog's name is Kemba. And the coolest part about you is watching you on the court, you're crazy. Your intensity, your passion. But meeting you off the court, you're one of the most humble, nicest guys I've ever met. So I want to dig into a little bit about what makes that. But we're really proud to work with you here at the Feel Good Lab. It's more about who you are off the court that makes us want to work with you than what you do on the court. And what you do on the court is incredible. #1 team in the country, one of our best players. So thank you for joining us. I'm excited to learn a little bit about your story. And if you wouldn't mind just telling our audience, who are you? Where'd you come from? And what makes you excited to be a UConn Husky?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to partner with you guys. It's been a long relationship, so really appreciate you having me on. Who I am, I'm first off a family man. I love my family. I think that's where I was taught everything I know. Just all of my values and just my foundation. Growing up, I had 2 brothers and 2 great parents. Cousins, uncles, aunts. 2 sets of really great grandparents that I had, who just, kind of showed me the way, and I was always taught to earn everything in life, and, nothing's ever going to be given to you. So, that's kind of just the mentality that I go about life with. And, as far as being a UConn Husky, it was a no-brainer once I first talked to Coach Hurley. So I'm super happy to be here, and we're not done yet. We have a lot to accomplish left, but, I couldn't be happier to be at UConn.
A lot of people I asked on Twitter, hey, I've got a chance to sit down with Cam tomorrow. What are some questions? Everybody wanted to know about you and Coach. I mean, and the media talks about this. Like, you are him on the court. Which one of you is more fiery, him or you?
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's one or the other. I think we're both pretty fiery. That's something that I love about Coach Hurley, and always have. Since day one, we've, just been on the same page. And, I think a lot of his upbringing was similar to mine with, having an older brother, somebody to push you and just compete with every day. I think that just fuels our fire. And, I think we both just love to win, and that's kind of where it came from. So we definitely have that in common.
I've had a chance to work a little bit with your dad, and I see what you mean. I'd love to hear a little more about what formed you into like the fiery athlete you are, but your dad seems like the type of person that just has a high standard. And when I think about Coach, his dad is one of my favorite people. I've had a chance to meet him, but I've watched all the documentaries on him. He's one of the best coaches in high school of all time. And to me, it's that standard, right? And it's like, if you set that standard for yourself, it doesn't mean you need to be perfect, but you have to really take it seriously. And that's, I think, a big part of you. Like, you take things seriously, especially when it comes to your health, your training, and that's some of the stuff we'll get into. But is it your dad that laid the groundwork? I mean, your brother is an elite athlete too, so it must be something either genetic, nature or nurture.
Yeah, I think it started with, my parents and then both of my brothers, just how we were raised, and we always grew up playing, different sports. We played, basketball, lacrosse, baseball, football, everything. So that's just where the competitive nature comes from. Being involved in sports, you're gonna want to win and hate to lose. So, my dad always said, if you make a commitment, then you have to honor that commitment. So with anything in life, I think that's what I've always tried to do. My parents taught me about hard work and, like I said, just that commitment aspect and accountability to hold yourself to a standard every day and to try to live up to that.
And you must love it, because even we're out having a little shooting contest. Cameraman comes say, guys, it's time to go. And you go, we're not forgetting the score.
Yeah, no,
of course I'm getting my ass whooped.
10-9, mid-range. And then
mid-range I had a chance.
That was a long one, too, yeah.
But so, thinking about you as an athlete and all of the things that come into it. One of the things we talked about today is like, you know, we wouldn't pick you out of a lineup as one of the greatest basketball players in the country. And it's, I think, your preparation a lot that goes into it. But why don't you tell us, like, what goes into making you who you are as an athlete?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it starts with work ethic and, you know, what you're willing to sacrifice to be as good as you want to be. You know, good thing with college is, you know, classes are online now, so for me, I can really spend a lot of time in the gym, and, you know, that's where it all starts. You know, the competitive side of me is big, but, like, I think that the work ethic is really a huge piece to being successful in, you know, sports or anything in life. So, you know, like I said, I think that comes from my family and the foundation that they set, but, you know, just having a strong work ethic is something that I pride myself on.
Yeah. And what about stuff outside of training and basketball? I think you mentioned, like, you're like, I'm a great sleeper, but that must play into it. I mean, sleep and recovery are such a big piece of, if you want to, you know, perform at this level. How do you look at those aspects of your life? Is everything feeding into your ability to train and perform, or is it just something that's almost came to you easy?
Yeah, no, I would say when I was younger, it was just, you know, all basketball, all on the court. Once you're off, then you know, you go eat whatever you want, you go sleep however long you want. So in college, you know, I had hip surgery my sophomore year or end of my freshman year, so that really made me make a switch in my head. You know, I got to start doing some things better off the court. So, you know, with nutrition and sleep, you know, I really pride myself on taking care of those things off the court, because, you know, that affects how you perform on the court. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
One of the my favorite stories, this is, I don't know, 5 months ago when we first met, and we were doing some testing with you to understand which foods for you are going to be the best in your diet and which foods could be potentially harmful and cause inflammation. And we finish eating, you're like, whoa, I eat eggs every day. Yeah. I said, you're going to have a hard time cutting those out? And you look at me and you go, what eggs? Yeah. And it's like you just flipped a switch.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's going to, you know, help me with my performance or, you know, my body or how I'm feeling and my health, then it's pretty easy to kind of flip that switch. You know, some things are easier to cut out than others, but, you know, eggs were an easy one for me, so yeah, no issues there.
And a lot of it's funny, the questions I got on Twitter, people are dying to know about your shoes. I mean, you've been dealing with a couple of turf toes. Turf toe I had turf toe, probably not as bad as you, but like that knocks you out for a while. You don't realize how much your big toe plays into your balance and even just walking, right? Yeah. So how are your feet feeling right now?
Feet feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't for a while there, but no,
but now you've gone back to like the OG shoes, right? The Paul
like
Georges from
old. Yeah, like the original.
And you had the black and white ones. People were calling you like, you know, like the church gym killer out there with like the old school white socks.
They look like the like bowling shoes.
Yeah,
I heard.
But whatever works, right?
Whatever works. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, the PGs that I have are probably 6 years old. I wore them in high school, but they're comfortable. So
yeah.
You know, that's what I'm going to roll with.
Yeah, you don't change up what's working. As you go into the rest of the season, obviously we know what the goal is here. I mean, we're UConn, we're defending national champions. But thinking beyond this season, actually, I'll even say it for you. You know, we're out at that dinner, and I'm like, you know, Cam, you going to maybe play in Europe next year? I didn't really at the time even know how great you were, right? This is preseason. Mm-hmm. You look me dead in the eye, not even smile, you go, what are you talking about? Yeah. You know, your goals are obviously higher than that. So if you think through, like, you know, the season ends, what's the next step look like for you in that preparation, and what are your goals going forward after UConn?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not a believer that you should set limits, you know. So the NBA is the ultimate goal, but, you know, there's still so much that I want to accomplish at UConn,
Absolutely.
Which I think will help with, you know, personal success. But I'm really all about team success and helping the team win, and I think that, you know, everybody will benefit from that in the program. So, you know, I you know, you think about it, but I haven't really thought about it until, you know, after the season. I'll kind of deal with it, but, you know, I just want to win a national championship and have great success here as a team, and, you know, I think the individual stuff will come after that.
That brings up a good point, because it's really that next goal up mentality, and I think I learned about this last year. Maybe Coach was doing this before, but even we were just shooting around, and you have the billboard of the next trophy, which is the Big East regular season. So it's like, it's nice to think about those things, but if you don't accomplish the next thing that's up, it's hard to get ahead of yourself, right? It's got to be focused on what's in front of you.
For sure. I think just honestly, the next goal is the next game, because
Yeah.
every game matters just as much as the next one. So to win a Big East regular season championship, you got to win the next game. So that's really the mindset.
Do you find yourself like first one in the gym, last one out? Or is it, you put your training in when you need to, but like how dedicated and how focused are you in the stuff outside of the game time?
Yeah, I kind of OCD with it. Like I just like to be prepared for practice, for the game. I like to have great practices before the game so that you can feel confident out there in your abilities. So I think preparation really equals the confidence that you have in yourself and your team.
Yeah, speaking to that, so you're in high school. You're a pretty great lacrosse player, right? Could you have played college lacrosse like your brother?
Yeah. I wasn't as good as him, but
no.
Yeah, I think I could have played in college.
Well, just to pause on that for a second, he's one of the coolest stories I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He plays college lacrosse, doesn't even play basketball until his senior year. Where did he go his senior year? Northwestern?
Yep, Northwestern for a 5th year.
Yeah, and then now he's in the NBA G League dropping like 20-something points. I was watching a highlight tape. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that don't play basketball in the college level and then have the ability to go make it, at least guys that are not 7 feet tall,
yeah.
right? So does he have a little bit of what you bring to the table in his preparation? Is that, it seems like he's maybe a little bit more of an athlete,
yeah.
right?
He definitely got more of the athletic genes from my training.
And by the way, I'm not taking anything away from you.
No. That's just the fact. That's the reality. So I'm really proud of him. He's worked his butt off to get to where he is.
Yeah.
People were shocked when he made the switch to basketball, but as a family, we were like, yeah, this nothing too new. Like, he can go do it. We've seen him play. So, he's taught me so much, and he's really set the foundation for my little brother and I for, how to go about life and sports and competing and just setting the example for us. So, love those guys to death.
Yeah, and so, for you growing up with him, right? I mean, he's the older brother. He's obviously an incredible athlete. I'm sure I'm the oldest of 5. We got my brother here, one of them. And I know it was battles on battles every single day. There wasn't a game that didn't end with a fight coming back inside,
Somebody had to lose.
Somebody had to lose.
Was pissed.
Yeah. So was that similar for you growing up?
For sure. And so my older brother, he's got 4 years on me. He's got 6 years on my little brother, who I'm 2 years older than. And, it was a lot of fights. Like I said, somebody had to lose. So a lot of times it was me, because, 4 years is a lot when you're growing up. So
yeah.
I just hated losing. And, if I could beat him, then it made my day. So it's just a competitive household for sure.
And so you had, because of that hip injury, you had one scholarship offer.
Yeah.
Right? Was it the same school he went to?
No, I'm not even because of the hips. Honestly, I had the hip surgery in college, but I just had one offer going into college. So
that's unbelievable. And then you played 3 years there?
Played 3 years at Loyola, Maryland.
Yeah, and then one at Rutgers last year. So it's like the levels as you went from, one level, and I'm nothing against Rutgers, but obviously we're the #1 team in the country, so it's a little bit of difference right now with like what you guys are doing and how you're performing. Has it been easy for you to kind of step up each time, or is there a little bit of a time period it takes you to get used to things?
Yeah, I think I've always believed in myself, because of the work ethic, and you know what you're capable of. You played against certain teams or certain players, and kind of where you stand. So anytime I come into a new spot, then it's just about earning those guys' respect, the team's respect, the coach's respect, and just performing in the summer, so they believe in you. And yeah, that's just I couldn't be happier to be at UConn, honestly.
Cool. So kind of the last piece I want to chat about is, the Feel Good Lab podcast is about wellness, but we want to give like normal people actionable advice that they can take with them. And obviously, you're at a standard and elite level of taking care of your body and whatnot, but what are some of the things that you do that maybe would be relatable to other people that could just help them live a little bit healthier life? Because obviously you take your health very seriously.
Yeah. I think, even talking with you, like I'm still not educated on a lot of things nutritionally. So just figuring out, what's actually healthy to put in your body. There are different commitment levels to what you want to do, but, I think that if you eat pretty clean or stay away from fast food for most of the day, then maybe you can reward yourself at night, something like that, or, just making sure you get 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Little things like that everybody can do. So Those would be the two main things.
Yeah, sleep is so important. The hierarchy I look at, and I made this up, I don't even know if it's true, but like you can go weeks without eating food. You know, food is not as important as we make it seem. We definitely don't need 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Drinking water, you can go a lot less time, maybe a couple days, but sleep even less. Like it's illegal to do sleep deprivation studies because it is so dangerous. And so we need to prioritize our sleep, our hydration, and our nutrition. But to me, that's kind of the order how I look at things.
Yeah, sleep is my #1 priority. You know, I think when you wake up and you're tired, like you're gonna have a long day. So I think it's sleep, nutrition, and then a couple other things. But yeah, that's the main one for me.
Yeah. Well, Cam, thank you so much for coming on. Usually I like to end this with how can people find you and follow you. One of my favorite things about you, you don't even have social media. Like, what's that all about?
Can't find me. You find me at a UConn basketball game. That's about it.
I love that. And on the Feel Good Lab podcast.
Yeah, on the Feel Good podcast too.
So thanks, man. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being a partner of the brand. And good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me on.